Hello and welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. And by the way, because of why I whistle just this kind of melody, I think it's just a very very beautiful song. Is it a song? I don't know. It's just a piece of art. I would even say it's just an incredible piece at my point of view. And it is actually called, if you didn't know, in the Hall of the Mountain King, if I remember correctly. But this is totally not the topic from today, because we are going to talk about sleep again and smarter sleep or smart sleep by Sean Stevenson, which is actually the book I've been going through for now. I think this is the third episode in total. So therefore, check out the other ones. There's just a lot of information on it or in them about sleep, how to sleep better, what are some, factors that might lead to, worse sleep and so on. But you do not have to. These are just only facts, just some kind of, like quite a summary of only facts, which is totally good for you if you just turn in this certain episode, because you can just still go on with this one without losing any information or losing some kind I don't know without not being able to just come along or go along with me and this beautiful fucking summary. And without I think just wasting a lot of time, we are, and sorry, before I forget, let's turn these things down. The bottom microphone is in, so therefore everything should be good. Because I've actually once had a problem with the whole recording, and it really just led to the point where I just said, okay, the recording is so worse, the audio quality wasn't usable, so that I actually had to kind of delete this recording, which was actually half an hour long, so some kind of a half an hour, because it was not fully, but I think it was 27 minutes or 28 minutes, but it's still some kind of pissing me off, or was pissing me off, because it's still a lot of work to do. It's not like work, because it's kind of fun to just go through information while talking into my fucking phone, and knowing that there is someone who might just need what I'm telling this certain person right now, or yeah. But we will go along with sleeping position matters. And if you didn't know, mattresses, so the things you're laying on, I hope they're actually called like that. I think so, yeah. And there are actually certain mattresses that are made for certain sleeping positions. So there is one, or there are one for, or a few for people who are sleeping on their tummy or on the rear, I would even say. And there's, some for somebody that are actually sleeping on their back, and for some that are actually sleeping on their side. I normally quite am sleeping on my side, I think, and therefore because I kind of recently bought myself a new bed, or just, a new bed and mattress, and therefore just, really looked out for having a mattress that is good for me in terms of me actually, laying down on my side, on my shoulder, or however you want to call it. So if you didn't know, it is also something I think very important to just look out for if you're buying yourself a new. I actually wanted to say phone, but I do not know why phone. But if you're just buying yourself a new mattress, but sleeping position matters. It's pretty important to be as comfortable as possible when sleeping, and Stevenson explains that the way you sleep actually has an impact on the quality of your sleep. Blood flow to your brain, oxygen, and your breathing are obviously critical processes for the body, and certain positions improve these functions. Back sleeping, good for your spine and digestion, although it can be related to sleep apnea and snoring. Front sleeping, okay, it's called front sleeping, interesting. Prevents snoring. Be careful that you don't hurt your neck, so get rid of your pillow and lift a knee to open up your hips. And the last one is the side sleeping, which is one of the most common positions and the most natural one. Good for digestion and eliminating heartburn. Okay. Pretty interesting. But I think it's totally just interesting that a lot of people still, even though it's not natural, or seems to be not natural, whatever, still sleeping on their backs and on the front, because I think this is just something very, very normal. And I'm just asking myself, is this something like kind of evolution just gave us? Is it evolution? evolution. Never mind. If it just was nature or our adaptation to the world we are in right now, or if there are other possibilities that kind of led to the point where we just decided, okay, I'm going to sleep on my fucking tummy or on my fucking front, which, by the way, doesn't make any sense for me, because why would you sleep on the quite organs that you're using to just live? It just seems to be a little, I don't know. It seems to be just a little crazy and a little bit, yeah. I actually think that we just adapted to the place we are right now, or to the situation we are right now. I do quite think that some people that are actually, living in the woods, practically, some very indigenous people. I hope this is called like this. I think they are still just, sleeping on the side, because maybe they even know just, this is the best position to be at. But never mind. So choose the position that best works for you and try and stick with it. I actually do think that some people, or most of the people, do not even just consider taking another position, because at my point of view, it totally comes natural to you. If you feel like, you just wanna lay down on your back, you just do it. And if you feel like you wanna just sleep on your front, you will do it. And I kind of not think that a lot of people are just actually thinking like, okay, I should actually sleep like this or that because I'm sleeping, better in such a position. But people will, I think, but yeah, never mind. Call calm before bed. How familiar is the feeling of jumping into bed and suddenly your brain shifts into overdrive? Planning, thinking, questioning, this can be extremely disruptive to your sleep and will keep you awake longer. Stevenson recommends meditation as a result or resolution, not only for sleep but for all areas of your life. Stevenson explains that meditation is a process that will release good hormones and endorphins while reducing stress. It doesn't have to take long. All you need is 10 minutes a day, which is actually the same amount I'm doing a day. I always tend to meditate most of the time. Sometimes, I do just have to kind of manage my schedule something else or somehow else. But most of the time I'm actually just meditating before I actually go to bed, or right before I go to bed. I still sometimes, come to the point where I do have to say, okay, I do have to get up again, because my brain is just so thinking, so much thinking and planning, and whatever the author actually just pointed out. This is the same thing that happens to me even though I'm meditating. But I then still, just get up and do something. I most of the time actually draw some things, because this is something that I can concentrate on and that I can actually, do for a longer time, so that I'm not getting somehow bored or whatever. So I just, get up and draw, because I kind of realized, and I kind of read somewhere, and this was actually the reason why I started doing this, that if you kind of feel like, okay, you can't sleep because you're thinking and planning or whatever you're doing, then it is just actually a good plan to get up again and then go to bed, once again after you've, done something for 20, 30 minutes or somewhat, so that you actually kind of feel sleepy again. And then, most of the time I just really, it really made me sleep again. Something I did do as well was just, using my phone, scrolling a little through Instagram, doing something, which was definitely not a good idea, because this is actually, and I think you might know it, if you've been sticking with me through the other 2 episodes of this book summary, you totally know that blue light, so the light all our devices kind of emit, that these lights, or this light, is actually very, very hurting our sleep, because it kind of reduces the production of melatonin, which is kind of not the endorphin, but the hormone which is actually introducing us to sleep. And because I did it, which was the most fucked up thing I've ever done, or I've just ever thought about. Okay, I know this shit. It's not like, okay, I didn't know it before I was going through this. I didn't know it before, but I still was like, okay, I want to just look a little bit in my phone and just see what's going on or whatever. Doesn't work. Never do this. It's not a good idea. So at least it didn't work for me. So it might work for you, but I do just think like, okay, it's not going to work for you either. But yeah, meditating in the morning is often the most beneficial time to do so. It is when your brain is already near the alpha state. Start with guided meditation to begin with. And this is actually what I'm doing, as well. I have been meditating now, on a regular basis and, pretty consistent for 1000 minutes, which is actually 16 hours, which isn't too much. I've, been doing it for, I think 4 months straight most of the time. I do just have to admit that sometimes you have a bad schedule and you do not really kind of get to meditating and kind of get to meditating at its fullest. I do always meditate, but it's always in terms of, okay, sometimes I do actually meditate only for 1 hour because I then just, sleep away because I'm so fucking sleepy. And sometimes I just, regularly do my 10 minutes. And yeah, it's something you shouldn't get crippled by because, not doing it once or not fully doing it once because you're so sleepy and, whatever happened in your life is totally fine. But I think, in the whole macro, you should totally be consistent with it. When you're doing it, when not, then I think it's totally okay as well. Science, actually showed us the benefits of meditation, which is, something I do not know by now because it's something like, okay, I will do it. So I've looked it up, the benefits of meditation, but that's not pretty much sticking to me. I kind of feel like, okay, this is not something that I'm too interested in, why this is working. Sometimes yes, but at the moment it's just like, for me, kind of like, okay, I'm doing it because I've always been doing it, and I do not question whether it is just, bad or good for me. But I do just still, which was actually the initial point that I wanted to make, is that I do guided meditations with Headspace, which is an incredible app with a few, I think they call it either singles and or packs, and a lot of packs are free, so at least the first episode of it, and it's totally fine, and you do not need all of these episodes to just have a great meditation, and you should probably just stick to these first episodes because there are just a lot of them that are actually free and everybody can use them. I would actually just stick to this one that you actually feel most convenient with, or which you feel like, okay, this is the best one for me or for you actually. And yeah, so you can totally use it for free. The guy who is actually made or is making the audio of this kind of guided meditation is also pretty nice to listen to. Everything is quite great, and I'm not sponsored by them, even though it would some kind of be great, I think, because I'm still using it all the time. But at the end, I also think like, okay, I wouldn't quite care if they sponsor me or not, because I just still do it anyways with their free version, or with the free kind of possibilities I have. Supplements is, before I just even read through this, I would never ever just really suggest you doing this if you're healthy. If you're a person who is just got injured and therefore you have so much pain that you actually can't sleep, you maybe just, eat some medicine, or not eat, but take in some medicine or drugs that actually cure your pain or kind of reduce your pain. But I think in terms of sleep, you should never ever just take something. There's always another reason for that, and just really kind of, I don't know, putting so much drugs into you because you can't sleep or whatever is, at my point of view at least, not the best idea you can have. I still think like, okay, this is a very easy solution for this problem. I get it, and therefore a lot of people, do it, which is, the explanation for me at least. But I wouldn't do it. So supplements. Stevenson stresses the point that supplements shouldn't be your first port of call, but once you have addressed some of the other tips we have discussed, and you can turn to some natural supplements to aid sleep. I think, okay, if you're just taking some natural ones, I think it's not that bad as, if you were taking something very artificial things with, maybe even a lot of sugar, or I don't know, I don't even know what this medicine consists of, what, the ingredients are, or, even if they're just some kind of regular pill. Therefore, my thought about sugar would be completely wrong, but maybe it's, also something you can just, take, and some kind of how do you call it even? I don't even know if you just put it into your mouth and it's just some kind of gets digested into your mouth or somewhat. Oh God. But let's go ahead. So chamomile, which is actually the same thing you're drinking like a tea, and it is pretty funny if you just compare it, the German word and the English word. So it's a calming herb that relaxes your muscles and nervous system. Try it in tea form at night before bed. Kava kava or kava kava or whatever it is called. Actually, a drink deriving from Fiji. It has a natural sedative or whatever sedative reducing the time it takes to drift off to sleep. Valerian, another herb that is actually slightly stronger than sedative, whatever. In tea from it can help with in tea from in can help with uninterrupted sleep. So in tea form, it can help with uninterrupted sleep. Oh my fucking god. Don't rely on melatonin supplements, as there is evidence to suggest it decreases your natural ability to produce the hormone, which is definitely then a thing that you should never ever do. If there is some kind of an evidence that this is actually reducing the natural production of your hormones, why would you do this? Because you just have to take these fucking drugs for the rest of your fucking life if they kind of reduce it to such a level that it would take your body to recover such a long time that you would actually die, or it wouldn't be possible for you. Then you're totally fucked, totally. And therefore I would never ever just start with some things. It's the same thing with smoking. It's just costs a lot of money. It might be looking a little cool. I do just have to admit it. I think it's looking cool, even though it doesn't make any sense. But I still wouldn't do it because it's first of all a lot of money. And this is the first point and the last point that I had to make or would have to make. It's too much money. I won't do it because this is nothing I just want to spend my money on. Second of all, you will just fuck your fucking health entirely. And third of all, you will also just make the people around you ill as well, which is something that I've quite been thinking sometimes, especially when I'm just waiting for the bus, in a city that I'm going to school, because it's actually not the city that I'm living in. But, on this bus station, there are just a lot of people just smoking, and it's, I got used to it because I've, been attending this school for 4 years now, and so therefore it's just some kind of normal, but still, it's nice to not be just, smoked at some kind of. Address all the other tactics in a book before using supplementation to help your sleep. And the early bird catches the worm, which is the next chapter. Early in the summary, we discussed the importance of sunlight on your sleep cycle. Waking early is the perfect way to set up for the day with a dose of natural light. It aids your natural circadian rhythm and helps your body stay in sync. Stevenson highly endorses waking up early in the morning, having a purpose and getting some things done. It's a great way to get your day started with a dose of motivation, and you will find yourself get more done. This is actually one of the things that is actually a single entire book written on, that you should actually make your bed before you do anything else in the morning. Just get up, make your bed, and do then just the other things. If it's working actually or something else, but you just feel like, and it makes sense for me, you just feel like that you have done something. And this is actually something that I do just made a habit for myself. I'm just doing it every single day subconsciously. I just started it some day where I did actually have some time to use, and then I would decide like, okay, my mother is always hating at me for not keeping my room clean, which is I do quite understand it. My room is fucked up totally. Everything is laying around, all the clothes are on the ground and whatever, and this is nothing that's very nice to walk in and maybe even to live in, but therefore I just made it to some kind of a habit to just get up, just eating something, drinking something, or having my breakfast actually, then deciding what I'm wearing or not, because often I just pick something because I do not care what I'm wearing and doing the other shit, and if there is some time, or just I kind of make myself the time pretty much to, really at least tidy up my bed and, make my sheets and whatever, so that everything is clean and everything, looks a little bit cleaner than without doing it. Yeah. Yeah, so go to bed within 30 minutes of the same time every night. Many people think they can sleep less during the week and catch up at the weekend. All this does is throw your schedule out of whack. But this is still something that scientists have shown that this is possible, that you can actually kind of regenerate your health by really, how do I say it? By having the amount of sleep, so the amount of time of sleep that you have lost during the week on the weekends actually provides you with the recovery that's needed for the whole week. So therefore, if you just tend to not being able to sleep as appropriate or on time as you should do during the week, it is totally okay, because you can just use the time on the weekend, and this should actually be fine. I've read it on a newspaper. I do not know if this is actually true. I hope, because I'm quite living for it. Because I'm sorry. I'm do just always like, okay, during the week I'm never going to bed on the appropriate time when I should, and this is something I totally have to change up, because it is something I do just have to prefer, and then that's it. It's just, I will just do something else less, and therefore I'm just having more sleep, and this is totally fine. But somehow my brain decides to not do it, because I don't know. Bedwear. What do you go to sleep in? Steven suggests using PJs or pajamas as a way to trigger your body into a relaxed mood. It's important that PJs are incredibly comfortable and loose-fitting. If you're a woman, try sleep without a bra. It's better for blood flow. Men try wearing boxers, loose-fitting tops, basic t-shirts, or go naked. Women try boy shorts or significant other's t-shirt, following or your significant other's t-shirt, okay, flowing lingerie or jogger pants, or going naked. I do feel very, very fucking uncomfortable with just going to bed naked, and I still don't, use boxer shorts or some things. I still, but truly have some kind of a pair of t-shirt that's pretty loose though, because I actually think like, okay, going to bed with a very, very tight fucking t-shirt might be not as comfortable, but it's actually always, every single day that I'm recording at nights or at the evening when I'm just, came from school and I'm just eat it, or I just, went into the shower or showered myself, and then I, just record. And this is actually this exact same t-shirt that I'm always using to just go to bed as well. So just let you know, if you see me just wearing a fucking pink t-shirt, this is nothing I went to school with. This is totally my t-shirt to go to bed with. Yeah, and we can actually go through the whole summary, which is totally fine. I think this is totally great, because then I can just, I did this one. Maybe I'm even doing, because I do have so much time, because I actually came home from school very, very early today, and therefore I do, did just have the time to, make posts, even more posts than I'm usually doing, and better posts. And maybe I will do just something for school as well, because I do just really have to design a website that might I have been, talking about before, which actually took me fucking 4 or 5 hours on Saturday, or last Saturday, which was something that was so incredible for me. It's such a lot of time that that I was just using for this fucking website, even though I'm always not quite thinking or always quite sure about whether I should just, give school such a high value that I'm giving it, or such a high, if I should prefer it so much, to say it fucking easy. So grounding. Stevenson stresses the importance of getting grounded in our everyday life. He explains that we lead busy lives, leaving the house to drive our cars to work, always wearing shoes as a barrier between our bodies and the earth, and this can actually impact our sleep and health. Scientifically, there is an electromagnetic surface on the earth, and our bodies act as a conductor, and we need to remain connected to the earth in order for our bodies to repair cells, reduce inflammation, and neutralize free radicals. Evidence suggests that the free electrons available on the Earth's surface can only be absorbed by the direct contact with the Earth. The thing is, I could still just do it while I'm at work or just doing something else, but this wouldn't make it because I'm actually in a fucking house, in a fucking room, and I do not think like, okay, if they actually say, okay, these electrons actually only get absorbed by direct contact with the Earth, it would mean that I should go into the fucking forest, without fucking shoes and just, stick my feet into the ground so that I actually get some of these electrons. And besides the whole fact, or this whole scenery or whatever you want to call it, I do not even know if this is true. I kind of feel like, okay, this is I don't know. It just seems so, I don't know. It just seems so not from Earth. It just sounds so outlandishly, I don't know, crazy, I would say. But there might be something about it. If you're interested in it, you could totally just look it up, or I will look it up maybe as well. But yeah. So make an effort to ground yourself regularly. Simply touch the ground or a tree. Going to the beach is a fantastic way of doing this, and it is often why we sleep so well on holidays. Grounding yourself after a long flight can also help to overcome the effects of a jet lag and the stress long distance travel puts on your body. And I do quite feel like, okay, when I'm just, having holiday, I still or really actually just sleep better. If it's because of, this factor of actually, being able to go to the beach or actually being able to kind of ground yourself, I don't know, because there are so many factors that could lead, to you having a better sleep during your holidays. Nighttime rituals. Stevenson explains that having rituals and implementing a routine is essential in continuing to get good quality sleep. By making a habit out of your everyday or evening routine, you will have to put less thought into it and it will become an unconscious process. Totally. And I think this is the exact same thing with everything that you are willing to start. If it's actually making videos that I'm doing right now, if it's, producing a lot of posts that day, which I'm doing, quite right now, if it's like having a better diet and eating more healthier, if it's drinking more water, if it's whatever, your brain just makes patterns, at my point of view. You just have some unconscious patterns that you still just, do subconsciously or still just some kind of use subconsciously. So therefore actually just doing something and sticking it to as long as you can until it really gets something subconscious and something that actually doesn't actually kind of use some of your willpower to actually do it, and this is the exact same thing for me. I'm not eating any unhealthy shit because I don't want to, and just because I want to be healthy. And this is something that doesn't need any willpower anymore. Maybe for some people, at the very beginning, it does just have to take up a lot of willpower because, eating some chocolate or ice or, whatever you're eating, ice cream actually, whatever you're eating, which is unhealthy, a lot of people just like it. And a lot of people just feel about it like, I can't even or never ever just eat not unhealthy because I'm so addicted to it or whatever they say. But, at the end, and this is really something that I quite often then tell them, that it is something that is not taking any willpower anymore if you just, gotten used to it. If it's just something that's subconscious and if it's just something that's just normal for you. For me, it's just normal that I'm, doing my sports, I'm doing my videos, I'm doing my posts, I'm doing my nutrition, I'm doing my meditation. It's just normal for me. It's just my everyday life. And, I'm probably thinking more about, the time I have between those certain tasks that that I'm doing every single day, that I'm actually, thinking about these certain tasks that, nobody but me is actually doing. And this is just facts. Right now I'm even not quite thinking about doing something else because I just know, okay, I want to do this video and therefore I just do it. Or this podcast episode, actually. So make sure you get in the mood before bed and take time to... Actually, have I read this? Yes. So make sure you get in the mood before bed and take time to unwind and relax. Read some fiction, take a bath, write a journal, thinking about things you are grateful for, or meditate. Actually, just thinking about things that you're grateful for is, first of all, a great way to prime yourself in the very early of your day. very early stage of your day, and which is basically something that I've gotten from Tony Robbins, and this is something that he really emphasizes and he really points out to a lot of people and quite to every fucking one that he's quite talking to, or every quite one that he just got interviewed by, which is basically kind of preparing your day for being very, very good. Because if you just really start your day and if you really prime yourself pretty much, which will I look it up? No, I won't. If you just prime yourself, this really just puts you into a mood that's already good. Subconsciously, I think at my point of view, it's some kind of conscious, some kind of subconscious, and therefore you just have this good mood and this unbelievable, happiness or whatever you're priming whatever you are priming yourself for. That's it. And this is just something that's pretty good. And during the priming, ritual or priming, thing, Tony Robbins actually suggests to being grateful or just thinking about certain things that you're grateful for, to just include into this priming stage or into this priming thing, which is actually, I think, one of the main parts of priming. So therefore that you just really show your body, okay, this is good, this is good, this is good, this is good, or, I'm grateful for that and that and that and whatever, and to really just, tell your mind and tell especially your subconscious mind, okay, this is good, I'm thankful for that, just be some kind of happy now, maybe. I don't know what's actually happening while you are priming. Yeah, and let's go through the actual conclusion and the key takeaways. The first one is get sunshine during the day, which is fucking important. The second one is don't look at screens before bed. The third one is caffeine 6 to 8 hours before bed. And you need to be cool in order to get a good job. A good sleep. You need to be cool in order to get a good sleep. Sleep between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Use magnesium to aid. So the sleep between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. is not like, okay, you should actually only sleep between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. But, this is actually the time window where your sleep is the most, recovering one and the most best one, I would say. Use magnesium to aid stress reduction if you need it. And if you're clearly just, not getting it through your diseases or through your illnesses, through them you're not able to eat certain things, but if you're able, just take regular food and you just eat them and provide your magnesium boost through natural food and nothing synthesized or whatever. Because at my point of view, especially with vitamins, we do not actually need fucking vitamin C. In every fucking juice or whatever there is just some kind of vitamin C implemented into it or put into it unnecessarily, because it is a good marketing trick to say, okay, there's vitamin C in it, and a lot of people think about it like, okay, I need so much vitamin C and I need it in every single meal, and whatever I'm drinking there has to be some vitamin C in it. But if you just be like, okay, or do like your research, you actually can see, okay, and you actually do just have to eat some kind of a hand of food each day to actually pretty much cover your vitamin C intake. I think. I'm not quite sure. Don't take it, take it with a grain of salt. I once looked it up, and there it was just really astonishing, and it really made me kind of laugh at all these products that have vitamin C in them, and especially the green paprika. Is it called green pepper? Is it a green? So, green pepper. I don't even know how to fucking call it. Green pepper. It's green fucking paper. But is this then the green fucking pepper, the green bell pepper. This is actually one of the products or one of the fruits. It's not actually a fruit, one of the vegetables that has the most fucking vitamin C in it than anything else. Okay, only use the bedroom for sleep and sex. Totally have an orgasm before bed. Which is, I will definitely suggest you or just invite you to go through the other episodes. They are not too long, so in total will take you just an hour, or just, read through this summary yourself. It is on the paulminus.com website, and the book is called Smarter Sleep by Sean. It's SHAW, Sean Stevenson. And there, once actually you could have read Stevenson as well. So yeah, just look for it, go through it yourself, and you will totally know what's all about with these things. We require complete darkness to sleep well. Yes, this makes sense. Even not, actually, as I'm thinking about it, doesn't make any sense because, when you're outside and, people or our really ancient, whatever ancestors, there are stars outside, and you might just really being sleeping in a kind of hole or some kind of cave or whatever there is, or beneath a tree or whatever, but there was some kind of light everywhere. So I do quite feel like, okay, the complete darkness thing is something that's working for me at least. I do just have to have it some kind of dark. If there is a little bit of light, I do not care, but yeah. Keep technology out of the bedroom altogether. Yes, I'm still not doing it because I feel like, okay, yeah, be healthy, be at a healthy weight, totally important. Exercise, specifically lift weights, but not before bed. Don't drink too much alcohol, it's a stimulant. Consider the best sleep position for you. Consider practicing meditation. Use herbal supplementation such as chamomile or chamomile, whatever. And get up early, don't sleep in. Use pajamas as a mental trigger for bedtime. Ground yourself often and create a ritual in the evenings that you look forward to. And I think it is pretty important, especially that you're actually looking forward to it. If it is something that you're thinking like, no, I do not want to do it, which is actually the same thing for me with meditation, because actually I'm always just thinking, I'm always sitting there or standing there, or when I'm ever, coming into my fucking room, I'm always like, no, actually I do not want to meditate. But the thing is, I just know that this is something that's, good for me. I think, or at least I just think it is. And yeah, therefore I'm just doing it. Further reading, but I think we will actually just go to the extra steps before going to the further reading one. Take a listen to his podcast on iTunes, the Model Health Show, and he has over 274 podcast episodes, so there will definitely be a few topics that resonate with you. And if you want to hear more on sleep, then check out TMHS episodes 104, 5, and not 100, but episodes 4, 5, and 6. Note down what your sleep is like currently. Assess what areas need work. Try and take at least one of Stevenson's suggestions. Start slow, but continue to add more and more into your daily life and evening ritual, which is a very good idea. And download the complete book on Amazon, which is always a good idea, because an actual summary, as they even pointed out at the very, very bottom of this article, quite every time, not all the time, having such a summary is a good start and a very, very good introduction into a book, and to really get the most out of your time, maybe even. But this is not the full one, and you can definitely just you definitely not feel the same way if you just gone through the whole one, and this is actually something that I've pretty much kind of recognized while I was just reading How to Win Friends and Influence People, which was actually one of the best books that I've ever read. But after I've read it, I was like so amazed, and during my read I was also pretty amazed. But I once went through a summary as well on this channel, I think even twice, and both times I was like, there are some parts missing, and the explanations are very weak, and therefore all the time that I'm just saying, okay, this is a bad summary, or feel like this is a bad summary, the book really just doesn't have to be bad as well. It's just because of the summary, and maybe the summary is just bad made or whatever, bad written, but yeah. Let's go quickly through the further reading. The Miracle Morning, which is actually one of the books that I've been going through on this channel or podcast as well, which is basically, yes, also about your morning routine. So you can totally see there, sustaining a morning routine is the most effective way to create the lifestyle you have always dreamed of. This book is straightforward. Can you actually see this? Yeah. Forward, and has easy to follow steps and suggestions, making it the perfect guide for anyone ready to start taking action and changing their life. Then The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. Must read for anyone interested in training themselves to create a new habit and rituals. This book clearly defines what a habit is and how we can shape, mold, and change them for individuals, organizations, and societies. Societies. Okay. Similarly, is the 50 Positive Habits to Transform Your Life by Michael Champman is a worth reading, a checklist of things you can add to your day to get the most out of your life. This is totally something that a lot of people or a lot of books just tell you, okay, yeah, this book will just, let you get everything out of your life and whatever. And I quite feel like, okay, this is something that I'm very, very pondering with. I'm still just thinking about actually buying myself a book because I've quite never read a self-development book in a physical way. I'm always just reading it, or I've always been reading it on the Kindle, but therefore I just wanted to try it out first of all, and second of all, the initial point I wanted to make is that I'm pretty not sure if I actually should do it, because I feel like, there's quite a lot of information on the internet as well, even though, which was the whole point, or, a whole kind of saying that one person just fucked, which was actually Seth Godin. He said, okay, you can get a lot out of a YouTube video and out of articles and searching through the internet, but actually reading a book is something else, and it's just true. And I just said it before as well. So therefore, I'm feeling like, okay, am I willing to take the money and just buy myself books and read through it, or should I actually do something else? I don't know. Maybe I should until I'm pretty much able to work for somebody, because at the time I just can't work for somebody, even if I'm just admiring him. It's practically not possible with school, and but it doesn't take as long for me to actually be out of school and really graduate from school. And actually in the summertime I will just still work for somebody as my internship. And and then through Laura Vanderkam's research and interviews, What the Most Successful People Do Before Breakfast is a comprehensive guide that reveals how to plan your mornings, weekends, and work time to achieve greater productivity and happiness. It was after reading Laura's book that I transformed my morning routine, which is now one of my favorite times of the day. And if you would like to learn the most common productivity skills among the world's top performers, then this is the book for you. And then, at last, always the guidelines book, which is actually a book from the author of this article and or summary himself. So it is a book that's made out of 300 books. 33 books, which actually altogether would have cost $300. But this book, or kind of the summary of all these things with it's an 80 pages ebook and a 150-minute audiobook with 31 rules. It's actually less rules than the books in it. I don't know. But nevertheless, so it actually costs, I think, $14 or $15. I should actually look it up once, because I'm always just talking about it and even not knowing, how much it even is. But with that being said, I hope you got something out of this episode. This was actually a fairly long episode. I tend to make it not that long quite often. And I just think after this, I will just, go through and, actually prepare the thumbnail and whatever I'm doing. And after that, I probably will just head to buy myself a book, or seeing what book I should buy myself, because I actually feel like, okay, I'm buying my book for maybe 10 euros or $10. This is totally fine. This is okay. But the thing is, I will try it out. I will go through it. I will read it. I will just do it. I will just see that I have the time, so that I haven't just wasted these 10 euros that I've just could have used or could have saved. But I do also think like, okay, letting my, money laying around and, letting inflation doing its work, I should totally, because I should also invest. This is also something I should do, I think. But the thing is, a lot of people, for example, Gary Vee, also just always just say, okay, he doesn't read books because it's not what he's doing. It's not what he is, able to do, because it's not him. And therefore, I was quite often like, okay, maybe it's not for me as well, because, but I've read a lot of books. This is, the downside of it. So therefore, maybe I'm just, because I'm liking him so much, telling myself, okay, you don't need to do this. Maybe this is just, the way. And on another side, I do just also think that, okay, because, or if I was reading books, actually, I would have less time for actually working on my company or my business. Um, yeah, point, period. But with that being said, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you get your success, wealth, health, happiness, and I hope you're giving back something. And I wish you a wonderful day, and do keep an eye on your legacy, at least in the macro, as always. And with that being said, I wish you a wonderful fucking day.